one working set, 45 minutes workouts, 6 Mr. Olympia titles. Dorian Yates proved that you did not need to live in the gym to build one of the greatest physiques in bodybuilding history. But the secret was not simply doing less, it was making the working sets count more. And as Dorian later admitted, there was a fine line between maximum intensity and going too far. Today, we are going to decode where that line really is.
So I always remember that whenever you're pushing your body to the limit in any sport, I think there's always a risk of injury because you're flirting with danger when you're pushing things to the limit. But that got me from being here, a backstreet gym in Birmingham, which is everyone knows it now, but not many people understood bodybuilding in my town. So to come from this place to win Mr. Olympia using a unique training philosophy, which I think catapulted me past people with better genetics. I think if I trained conventional bodybuilding wise, I would have been a good bodybuilder, but I don't think I would be Mr. Olympia. So something that gets you that far, it's very hard to change it.
That final sentence explains Dorian's entire mindset. He believed conventional bodybuilding training might still have made him a very good bodybuilder, but he did not believe it would have made him Mr. Olympia. Blood and guts was not just a training routine for him. It was the system that allowed him to overcome people he believed had better genetics and reach the top of the sport.
Basically, this is the process. You go in the gym. If you put your body under more stress than it's used to, this is an important thing. Your body doesn't react unless it has a reason. It has to have a reason to adapt.
Yeah, let's see it there. One of them squeeze. Ooh, yeah, she's that mighty back. Ooh. Ooh. Load it up. Nice.
I love this machine. It's the best machine you can get for the back because it's the only machine that isolates the lats without the biceps, and it's going full range from here all the way down 180 degrees.
Tight. Come on, use the back. Mass on the back now. Tight. In there. Mighty pullovers. That's the way.
The workout needs to be more stressful than the previous one in order to get some stimulus. That's the first thing in the gym. You're actually breaking the muscle down, you're damaging it.
Freeze it in. Yeah. Nice. Got it? That's the way. Yeah, hold it up. Yeah. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, that's what we want. Let's see quality out. Nothing, got it, nothing. Get in there. Let's get nasty. Let's get nasty. Go on, let's keep going that one. That's better, tighter. Bring it in. That's better. Yes, come on. That's it. Let's go again. Bring it in. Yeah, come on, that's it. Oh, yeah. Let's go again, Yates. Yes, bring it in. One more. Go on, push it, boxes. Come on. Bring it on. Come on, keep squeezing. Keep squeezing. That's the one. That's the one. That's it. Good. Woo. Strong set.
I don't follow Vogues, I don't follow fashions. This works. We're pre-exhausting the lats and then doing the pull downs afterwards.
This is what people miss when they only focus on the shouting. Underneath the aggression, Dorian's training was extremely calculated. He begins with a pullover to fatigue the back with less involvement from the biceps. And then he moves to pull downs when the lats are already tired. That is the logic behind pre-exhaustion. Now, you don't need to copy this exact exercise sequence. The important lesson is that every movement should have a reason for being in your workout. Dorian was not simply trying to suffer. He had a clear idea of what each exercise was supposed to achieve. The Adameya principle is progression. Dorian wanted the workout to place more stress on the body than the previous one. That could mean more weight, another repetition, better control, or a cleaner execution. For the regular lifter, this might be the most useful lesson in the entire video. You do not need to copy the screaming, but you should know exactly what you are trying to improve from your previous workout.
It's not we must only do one set. The point is we need to warm up to be safe, and then we need to go to failure. And if we can do that in a minimal 2 sets, so be it. If it takes 3 sets, it takes 3 sets. The point is, once we've been to failure on this exercise, go to a different exercise. No point to do any more.
This clears up one of the biggest misunderstandings about Dorian's training. He did not walk into the gym cold, perform one reckless working set, and leave. He used as many progressive warm up sets as he needed to feel prepared and safe. Only the final working set was taken to genuine muscular failure. Once that failure had been reached, Dorian saw no reason to repeat the same exercise. He moved to another movement and attacked the back from a different position. This was not lazy, low volume training. It was concentrated training with very little wasted work and a huge demand on the sets that mattered. So, do not copy the one working set without also copying the preparation and control behind it.
But the brain is going to try to do that. You have to override that and say, no, I'm staying in this motion.
Come on. Let's see it. Bring it in. Yes. Bring it like that. Bring it in. That's you. Let's do it again. Come on, man. Let's do it again. Oh, that's you. Let's do it again. Come on. Awesome pull now. Bring it in. Yes.
If it gets hard, I'm just going to keep pulling it.
Finish it. Finish it. Woo! Yes. Let's go for more hits. No mercy. Good legs. Show them, Diesel. See that form? Nice and tight.
Average workout was 45 minutes, yeah. If you're really giving 100%, then 45 minutes to an hour really is really the maximum that you can train like that before you just start, your intensity level starts going down. But if you train like this, you won't want to, and you can't train 6 days a week. You will after 1 week be destroyed.
This is the form again. Look, you want to win now?
It's a barrier to get over. Could it really be me? Could I be the best in the world at my chosen sport? Was that barrier, and then eventually I got over that. Like, why the hell not? You know, it's got to be somebody, and I don't think anyone's training harder than me. And I always had that inside of me, like I don't think anyone could have done any more. So that gives you a lot of strength.
This is the difference between saying you train to failure and actually reaching it. When a set becomes painful, the body immediately looks for a way to escape. It changes position, reduces the range of motion, or allows other muscles to take over. Dorian wanted the lifter to resist the escape and continue attacking the target muscle. But there is an important distinction here. You can push through discomfort, but you should not push through collapsing form, complete loss of control, or warning pain from a joint or tendon. Reaching muscular failure is one thing. Turning every repetition into a full body struggle is something completely different. This is also why the training partner was so important. He had to know when to help, how much assistance to give, and when the set was genuinely finished. Dorian also says that 45 minutes to 1 hour was the maximum he could maintain this intensity, and that he could not train like this 6 days a week. If the effort becomes this high, the recovery demands have to rise with it.
Christmas time now.
There's a thin line and a balance which I stepped over sometimes, but I was in uncharted territory. I built a physique that muscle mass and condition and so on that nobody had seen before. And I did this by doing it my way, by training in this way and always pushing and always pushing. So if you get to be from a little basement gym in Birmingham to go to America and beat all the best bodybuilders in the world, which nobody could believe that you can do, using this approach, using this method, it's very hard to say, okay, now I have to change these methods, or it's very hard for somebody to tell you, now it's time. And, you know, a couple of people kind of tried to say, hey, like, if you're up there now, why don't you just ease back a little bit with the training, maintain your physique, and, you know, concentrate on your career and earning the money and not getting injured and so on. But earning money is great, but for me it was a passion. I wanted to keep pushing it.
And again, squeeze it
I
back.
see, yeah, okay, I'm here, but if I keep pushing, I can go more.
Strong. Still there. Still there, Yates. Squeeze it. After. Get there. Nice hit. Woo.
Because this regiment and this discipline and this pushing all the time got me to where I was dreaming of, so it was hard for me to turn the switch down a little bit.
This might be the most important statement in the entire video. Dorian is not saying the system did not work. He's saying that there was a line and that he crossed it at times. The problem was not simply performing one working set. It was the combination of enormous loads, absolute failure, forced repetitions, accumulated fatigue, and a mentality that always wanted more. And this is relevant to every regular lifter. If you are dieting hard, sleeping badly, under more stress, or already experiencing pain, the loads you handled when fully recovered may no longer be appropriate. Your training should reflect your current recovery, not what you were capable of several months ago. Changing the plan is not weakness. Sometimes it is the most intelligent form of discipline. Dorian struggled to reduce the intensity because this method had taken him from a basement gym in Birmingham to 6 Mr. Olympia titles. To him, backing off probably felt like abandoning the quality that had created his success. Injuries eventually ended his competitive career, although that does not prove that one set to failure automatically destroys the body. What it shows is that even an effective system can become dangerous when the intensity never changes, even though the body and its ability to recover have changed. Blood and Guts was never simply one set and go home. It was careful warm ups, purposeful exercise selection, progressive overload, genuine failure, an experienced training partner, and enough recovery to do it again. Dorian made every working set matter more than almost everyone else, and it clearly worked. But his story also shows that intensity needs judgment, because there is a difference between pushing hard enough to grow and pushing so hard that eventually the body stops cooperating. Would you ever train like Dorian Yates? Or should the average lifter take the principles and leave the brutality behind? This has been Dorian Yates' Blood and Guts Training Decoded. See you in the next one.